Hi guys, I'm Wendy Cole, the editor of Realtor magazine. We're here today because it's September, which means one thing, well, it means many things, but it is Realtor Safety Month, and just want to talk a little bit about our next issue. We had our guest editor for this issue, Kimberly Allard-Moshe, who's a practitioner from Braintree, Massachusetts. She is a safety instructor, and she gave us, our editorial staff, some good insights into some important safety concerns, including some basic things, like when you're walking into a listing and you are consumed with your phone rather than where you're going. There could be people, lurking in the bushes, and it's important to pay attention. And so some of the fundamentals, are worth repeating. But what I really wish we had was a self-defense and safety instructor, because I know there's a lot more things that we can do.
Well, hi, Wendy. Joe Rosner.
Joe Rosner.
How you doing?
It's so great of you to pop up here.
Well, I'm happy to do it. I was just downstairs teaching a lunch and learn for the NAR staff on personal safety and self-defense, and I realized it's Realtor Safety Month, September. I should go see how Wendy's doing and see if there was anything we could do to maybe help keep realtors safer.
Well, Joe, your timing is impeccable, because I was just thinking that I just needed someone to give us some hands-on demonstration about some things that realtors can do to stay safe on the job.
Well, I think we can do that. I think even more important than talking about the things to do if you find yourself in a threatening situation and need to defend yourself are, well, the skills and abilities to stay out of those situations in the first place. If you're not in the scene of the crime, you're not going to be a victim of violence. It's that simple. So there's a lot of things that can be done. Of course, Realtor.org has some really good safety tools on there, as do many of the state and local associations. The wonderful tips in your magazine and website over time. By the way, that one tip you just had was excellent. I see people outside all the time with the headphones in and their eyes down, and they might as well be walking around with a blindfold on. They're giving up their senses that are going to keep them safe.
Right, because they're multitasking. They're communicating with a client over here, and they've got to get to this house now,
yeah.
And running behind, and just that kind of distraction leaves you open, doesn't it?
It does, and I always feel like if you're in danger of walking into a pole because you're not paying attention, you're probably opening yourself up to victimization by somebody sooner or later as well. And one of the things that studies have shown is that predators are out there looking for people who are not paying attention and not looking confident. So when we walk around looking alert, our shoulders back, turning left to right and paying attention, it greatly reduces the chance that we'd be victimized.
Mm-hmm. So we're hoping that if you have questions on your mind about in search of suggestions for how to stay safer, you'll pose them to Joe, or if any comments that relate to what we're talking about. We welcome your engagement here. So should we start with some basic steps to remember?
Yeah.
Here?
And again, if you've heard me speak before, people, nothing's really changed. I'm always telling you the same thing. Don't go to open houses by yourself. Get somebody else to go with you, an associate, family member. A lot of times loan officers are very happy to go out to open houses with you because they're looking to make good business connections like everybody else. But even if you just take your grandmother out there, you're going to be safer from having another set of eyes and ears along with you. So that's number one for open houses, at least. Don't go on your own. Number two, and this is one we all know, if something doesn't feel right, if your gut instinct is telling you there's a problem, trust it. Something is going on there. And you might feel this in the pit of your stomach, the back of your neck. Different people feel it different places. But when you have that feeling, that's your subconscious, your intuition warning you that maybe you're in danger.
Okay. So what's the first thing you should do if you get that uncomfortable
feeling? Good question. The first thing you should do is ask yourself, what is it about this person, or what is it about this situation that's causing my alarm bells to go off? And remember, your intuition will always be right. Yeah, you can misinterpret it, but it is reacting to something that's going on in that environment. So the first step we do is begin to ask, why is this person or this situation making me uncomfortable? And then two, if things really get out of hand, what am I going to be doing about it? Can I run away? Can I get help? Is there a door I can go behind and lock? Am I carrying pepper spray, or do I have some other means of defending myself in the event that it should become necessary? And hopefully it never does.
Okay. So let's just say that I am the earnest real estate agent, and I need, and you would play the bad guy. And
okay.
Some intentions you look like you're the client or the visitor to the open house.
Okay.
What should I do?
So I'm being the bad guy, and
Here,
well,
I'm going to put my magazine on.
okay. First thing that Wendy wants to do is, when I come in, ask me for photo ID. Now, you might find it easier if you print out a little sign and put it next to your sign-in sheet or your device that you're using for that. But getting photo ID, know who you're dealing with at open houses before you go out to meet people that you haven't met before. Know who you're dealing with, and make sure your colleagues also know that I'm meeting with so-and-so at 3 o'clock today, and if I'm not back by 3:30, please start looking for me. So first thing is, when I come in the door of an open house or I'm meeting you for the first time, know who I am, know why we're doing business. You can look me up on the sex offender registry. You can Google my name and check both all and the news.
So I should know a
searches.
fair amount about you before we meet.
I would recommend that. One real good tip, get your loan officer to pull my credit. So that might sound like, yes, I'd love to meet you and show you that house 7 o'clock tonight, that's fine. By the way, you have your financing set up. Oh, you do? With who? Hey, great, I think I'll call over if it's okay with you and get a copy of your pre-approval, so I'm showing you the right properties for you and your family.
So probably a correlation between terrible credit and being an attacker, huh?
Yeah, oddly enough, but just the fact that somebody's willing to get their credit pulled makes them a better prospect and a safer prospect, and it saves you from wasting your time with people you're really not going to be able to help in the long run.
And we did talk about that. You should have someone in your office or somebody who knows where you are.
At all times.
At all
Yeah,
times.
and there's a lot of ways to do that now. There's apps you can put on your phone that your friends and family can see where you're at, and if you don't show up by a certain time, we'll send out a warning to them. A lot of different ways to do it, even just setting an alarm clock and leaving it on your receptionist's desk. So if this goes off and I haven't called you, find out why.
Okay. All right, so let's just say, though, that you are the bad guy
And I am.
and you are making it an advance that is inappropriate. What do I do?
Okay, so let's talk about this. So fans, stand facing me just like this. So right away, if we're this close to each other and you're facing me square on, you got a bunch of problems. One is I could push you over. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two, you're giving me all the best targets to punch you or kick you or grab you. Okay. It's also aggressive. You may exacerbate the situation and cause me to become angry or upset by facing me square on. It's an aggressive posture. And of course, it's hard to move away without worrying about tripping. So the first thing, are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
So you turn your right shoulder so it points right at me. And I'll tell you what, to make it easier, I'm going to come to this side so everybody can see. So turn,
Okay.
point your right shoulder at me, and you want your feet just a little wider than your shoulders. So right shoulder points at me. No, feet are sideways to me. A little bit. So put your right foot here. And now, so turn.
Oh, good.
Okay, like it. So look at this. You're safer already. Okay, because it's a less aggressive stance. Okay, it's not offering me.
Don't talk to somebody face to face, even if it seems a little rude.
No, hi. I see you're upset.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, again, if they're in close, if they're at a distance, sure,
Yeah,
face
sure.
to face, so you know. But if you're feeling threatened, turn sideways. So it's less aggressive. Not a lot of good targets. It would be very hard for me to push you over, and you're well positioned. Should you decide that, you know, really running away is the better course of action. So I'm sideways, let's pretend the camera's an aggressive person. I decide that running away is better. I can just turn and I'm gone. Okay, now you got to give me a verbal signal that will express your concerns about your well-being and what intent I might have in that regard. So the best way to do this is to make a hand signal, and no, it's not the one you're thinking of. So you place your hands up like this. Okay, and again, keep your shoulders turned sideways to me, good. So fingers ought to be together, good, and this one comes right back by your chin. So that rear hand's protecting your face and throat from anything I might try. Front hand does all the blocking. So when I would reach in to grab you or punch you, you would just block me out of the way. And you can practice this with a...
Let's do it again.
Okay. One good way to practice this is I imagine a clock around Wendy's head, and I'll touch her at 1, and she'll block me, and 2, and 3, and I just practice that, and then as she gets good at it, we go around faster and faster until she gets quite good at blocking me. It's preferable to block to your attacker's inside center line to the outside, but most important thing is get a block. So okay, so you got your hands up, you've sent the signal, right? Your hands are facing me, good, you're well protected there. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to give me a verbal expression of your concern. Now, we don't want this to be weak or something that could be misunderstood. So the one that I recommend is just simply yelling back off as loud as you can. So go ahead and do that.
Back off.
Okay, that worked. All right, but
You ran away. I
yeah,
scared
okay.
you.
And the louder you do it and the harder you stress that K sound, the better it will work. Okay. So now she's well positioned. She's told me to back off. if I were to go to kick her at this point, she'd just bring her front foot up, so go ahead. And it would, she'd block me like that. So as my kick goes up, she blocks. You might turn your foot sideways, see if that doesn't work. So keep your turn,
Yeah,
get your
stay
stance.
sideways.
Here comes
There's
my
a lot
kick.
of things to think
Yep,
about.
just bring your knee straight up from where it's at. And look, see, that would block me, and it would discourage me from kicking again. And one more time. Okay. Okay. So now she's giving me the warning. The one we yell is back off. Her hands are up. Okay. Now she watches.
Seems like a lot of choreography for my attacker, and me, but.
Well, that's only because we're training. In real life, it would look something like this: back off, right? And I'm all well positioned, can block whatever I need to do. Don't block until you need to, by the way. And you've yelled back off. Now you watch the person, because what they do next is going to give you their real intent. Okay, not what they say, what they do. So one possibility might be something along the lines of, you should mellow out and cool your jets. I'm going to go now. And they stand still or move away. Well, if that happens, good. Another possibility is they continue to be too close or continue to move towards you. They may look to talk you out of your own observations. Hey, I'm interested in this house. I might want to buy it. I'm not a bad guy. Why you do me like this? All of this type of stuff. But let's be very clear about something. Somebody's behavior is what we're concerned about. Their verbal response doesn't matter.
The moment that I'm feeling threatened by you, the business conversation is over.
Yeah, right.
You can't come back.
Hey, I've got to run. There's a guy with that thing. I've got to go see him right now, and make an excuse, and you get right out of there. So you're back in your position. All right, I'm back and roll as the bad guy. And I decide that I'm going to attack Wendy. At this point, what you would do, Wendy, is bring that front leg up, and then we need to do this slow so that I don't get hurt. You'd slam your front foot down on top of and crossing my shoe as near to my ankle.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a stomp kick. So again, if we can see this, I just slide it in, hit her shin, slide down, smash it onto the top of her foot. And that's a very powerful kick because you're using your largest muscles, your quadriceps, plus your body weight.
So there's something I can do right to the sternum area that is
Yes,
very
there
good.
is. Okay. And so what Wendy's talking about is the suprasternal notch. And if you want to find this at home, find your collarbones where they meet. There's a little indent. Stick your finger in there and poke it around. Let's get my tie out of the way. So I've come in to attack you. You'd put two fingers on the same hand. Two. Okay. You can even use three. Okay. Put them in my suprasternal notch. And now push back and down as hard as you go. Don't be gentle.
I don't want to harm you.
You won't hurt me. Okay, so back and down hard.
So quicker.
Yeah, with a lot of power. So what this does, it triggers a neurological response that keeps the person away from you. So one more time. So there we go. Okay, if you meet that 1 in 100 people that doesn't work on, you use the same or very similar technique, but instead of pushing back and down, we push back and then we pull down and forward to pull on the inside of these sternum. Yeah, it's a little squeamish. To do that. Yes, that pressure point there, the suprasternal notch, very effective if somebody's choking you, somebody's getting in your face, they're holding you against a wall, or they've knocked you to the ground.
All right, do we have any questions out there? Anything that you have comments you want to share with us from your experiences? Anybody been in a vulnerable
I know the
spot?
question they're going to ask, Wendy. Yes, it's a Jerry Garcia tie. That wasn't it. Okay.
All right, don't be shy. Folks, pipe up. We have renowned self-defense safety instructor Joe Rosner to answer questions and offer tips if there's a difficult situation you've had. Now, sometimes someone does have a weapon. I mean, that seems like it would be as plausible as just.
Okay. Well, since you brought it up, I've decided that I'm going to arm you with a purple squirt gun. Okay. So if somebody is threatening you with a weapon,
I'm the bad guy.
You're the bad person. Okay. If all Wendy wants is my money, my car, my credit cards, my jewelry, she gets it. No questions asked. Here you go. I can replace those things. If she, however, wants to tie me up or put me in a vehicle and transport me, I'm never going to allow that to happen because I probably won't survive. So if I can, I'm going to turn and run away, ideally zigzagging. Even a trained police officer is only going to hit me 1 out of 5 shots. So she's probably not going to hit me in a vital location. Even if she does, I'd rather take my chances in the Walmart parking lot than in an empty warehouse somewhere. But let's say that's not possible. No place to run. I clearly have a faster runner I'm dealing with, or I have somebody with me I can't leave behind. So she's pointing her weapon at me. At this point, what I want to do is, number 1, not get shot, and number 2, eliminate the possibility that she's going to be able to continue to menace me. So what I'm going to do is move the gun one way, my body the other, and then strike Wendy in a way that will eliminate her ability to attack me. So I move my body one way, the gun the other, using the webbing between my thumb and forefinger, I strike her trachea, gently and with love. Okay, squeeze and yank. Okay, and that should resolve that situation. But I know where you.
You don't need to see that again.
If you want to.
Yes.
Now this is one you can try at home. You may have seen it on YouTube. If I was dumb and I didn't stop the guy and he wanted to, or she is in
Got
this
into
case.
this unfortunate situation.
Yep.
And they,
I find that I am being duct taped. And this technique works on duct tape and zip ties, not on gorilla tape and not on handcuffs.
Is that okay?
No, we'll be fine.
More?
Whatever you think. I trust your professional judgment.
I know. I want to make sure you can't get out of this.
Well,
It's not
I'm
pretty.
afraid you're going to be
It's not pretty.
disappointed in that regard, because I will be getting out of that.
Oh, you're so confident.
I'm pretty good at this.
You've done this once.
Once or twice. Okay, so now this is real duct tape, nothing monkeyed or gimmicked with it. No matter how hard I pull, it's not going anywhere.
It's pretty secure
Okay,
there.
but yet I can get out of this in less than a second by using the proper technique, which is remarkably simple. Bring both hands up over my head, and then just bring both elbows down on each side of my hip with a fair degree of speed and enthusiasm. There we go. I had to do it twice, first time ever.
Wow. That was pretty effective with me. I got it compared to your usual perpetrator.
Yep, so there we go.
Yes.
But, so we've escaped out
Do
of
we have a
that.
comment? Or?
We have a couple of questions. We've got a lot of great comments so far.
Okay.
A couple of good questions, though. First of all, Adrian Manzanares, hope I
Hi,
did that
Adrian.
one correctly, wants to know if you, Joe, advocate the use or carry of a weapon.
I do and I don't. Okay, I believe that well-trained, responsible, law-abiding citizens arming themselves make the rest of us safer. But I also think the vast majority of people don't actually fall into that category. You need to be confident that you'll make a flawless decision, that you're in enough danger to take another human's life. I do strongly urge you, if you choose to carry a weapon, that you get more training than your state requires. Find a place where you can get force-on-force training, where you're put in unpleasant, uncomfortable, unusual situations, have to make shoot, don't shoot decisions, and then hit a target, not merely be on a air-conditioned, well-lit range punching holes in a sheet of paper while you sip a refreshing beverage.
And then Priscilla Horton wanted to know if you have any tips for if an attacker comes from behind.
Ah, if an attacker comes from behind. Yes, turn around. But you probably wanted more than that. So there's a couple of ways somebody might
Do you want me to be the attacker?
No, I'm not going to attack you, Wendy. You know I like
Oh,
that. Okay, so if I came from behind, first thing is, as soon as Wendy became aware of my presence, she should turn around, turn sideways, getting that self-defense stance. Okay, but if she hasn't done that, I snuck up because, well, she was looking at her smartphone or
doesn't feel
listening to
good.
her music or something, and I started to choke her like this. Real simple technique to get out of a front two-handed choke. Her hands go straight up, like the guy in the don't swim sign, straight up, all the way up, and now you just take a step and spin. Now if you decide to practice it, good job, Wendy. If you decide to practice it at home, don't choke each other, just simulate it.
You better do that one more. It felt like that you were being helpful.
Okay, I'm not going to be helpful, I'm going to resist now. Up, hands straight up. Straight, you're reaching forward with your hands, straight up over your shoulders. Now spin and step at the same time. Yeah, there's no way to hold on. Okay. All right, it doesn't seem
You
real.
don't seem the meanest attacker, but it gives you an idea.
Yeah, well, just one more. You can choke me as hard as you can, make it as realistic as possible. You won't hurt me. Get a real good. Tell, squeeze me harder. Okay, she's got me. Hands go up, and I turn, and it's that easy. Other attacks from behind. If somebody's going to shove you, step out of the way. Okay, or if you're running and somebody's chasing you, drop to the ground. And the fastest way to drop to the ground in this case is not to think about squatting, but think about bringing your knees up to your chest. So somebody's chasing me, I'm running along, and I drop like this, and they'll go right over you. Okay, you can also, somebody's running up behind you, step with an elbow and a fist at the same time.
This is not a fist bump.
It's not a fist bump at this point, but one or both of these is going to hit an important target. And again, if somebody's running up behind you to attack you. Now the scarier one is if somebody tries to choke you with their forearm from the rear. That's a bad one. The simplest way we have in the amount of time that we in format we can do this is stomp their foot, bring your head back in against their chest, and jump up and drive the top of your head into their chin. I don't recommend kicking the groin as a self-defense tool, but grabbing, twisting, and yanking under these circumstances could prove to be effective. We have other questions, perhaps?
Yes, Adrian actually has another really great one about how you actually increase your situational awareness. Like, it's easy to say, be aware of your surroundings.
Real good question, Adrian. Best thing I can give you on that is go to your library, get a book called The Gift of Fear. The Gift of Fear. It's by Gavin DeBecker. Every library has it. You get it on Amazon for $5 or so. Read that, and that'll help a lot. Now I'll give you the 30-second version of The Gift of Fear, which you really should read, okay? Which is get in the habit when you're walking around and seeing people of playing a little guessing game in your head. Who is he and why is he here? If you can come up with some good guesses, he's the butcher, baker, candlestick maker, you're all right. Or probably all right. If you can't come up with those guesses or you don't like the guesses that you're coming up with, that is a warning from your intuition, from your subconscious that maybe you're in danger. And at that point, again, you don't need to necessarily freak out and run off and call 911, although sometimes you might, but you need to begin to look at what resources are there to protect you, what escape routes, what tools, who's there to help you, those type of things.
Okay, well, I think we're winding down. Is there any last question or comment from the audience? Or?
Yeah, there are a lot of great comments, and I recommend anyone who's watching this just go back and take a look at some of the things that your fellow colleagues have written on these tips. And yeah, I think thanks so much for.
Yeah, you can watch this again because it might take practice. Some of these maneuvers take a little bit of practice for sure.
Absolutely, and I have a few things on YouTube. Just search Joe Rosner in self-defense. You'll find me.
Yep.
You all know how to do that, or you wouldn't be seeing me now.
He teaches classes. He teaches realtors, and he's been doing it for how many years?
16 years.
16 years.
As of this week.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you again for joining us here on Realtor Safety Month. Check out the next issue of Realtor Magazine, and
Stay safe.
Stay safe out there.